turning obstacles into actions is a major step of any change project. It's inevitable that you will get an endless list of obstacles. Oh, well, we can't do that because, oh, well, we don't have the resources to do that. Oh, well, we're blocked. Oh, we can't proceed until. And so these will be a long series before you start the project, and that's why we always do what we call a prerequisite analysis or a prerequisite planning meeting before a project starts. But even as you go through the project, you'll run into roadblocks and hurdles where people will say, oh no, okay, we can't proceed, or we've got to delay this, or we've got to do this, we've got to do that, or we can't implement that part of the change anymore. But being able to turn those obstacles people raise, those things that stop you, into actions forward is life-changing, really. It changes the business as well, changes the project, and helps everything move forward a lot faster. So how can you do something like that? You've got a long list of obstacles. How can you turn that into something useful? Well, actually, it's very interesting that you've got all the steps there. Or you take the list of obstacles and flip them. What would the reverse of that be? What will it look like once the obstacle isn't there anymore? Once we've overcome it, what will that look like? Oh, well, we don't have this. Well, we don't need this, or we do have this now, or we're past it, whatever that is. And then you can have a big list of these and put them into order. Well, which of these obstacles is going to have to be resolved first? Oh, well, if we want to have that thing, if we're going to have this thing here, we're going to need this thing before it. Okay, great. So we'll put them in a sequence like that. And now you've got a very rough plan, roadmap to move forward with. And for each of them, you can go through those obstacles and say, well, what is, we're experienced people here. To get to that step, what would you say a good action is? And usually someone will have an action to test. Now, it's important that these are actions to test. The overcome obstacle is what should be on the plan, because that's what you're trying to do, trying to overcome the obstacles. Actions won't always work. So you want a recommended action or an action to test alongside that, so that when you come up to this, you go, okay, great, now we've got this action, we know what the purpose of that action is, so let's try and achieve that. If it doesn't work, you check, is the obstacle clear? It's clear, great, move forward. If it's not clear, then you're going to need another action. So you might need to go to someone, you might need to have a look at how other companies might have overcome obstacles like that in the past to get ideas, but you want to have recommended actions to start with and test them. Most of the time you'll be right, but you want to make sure that those are recommended actions. So you take your obstacles, and this can be for a big project, big change project, a small thing at work, a small change you want to make in your life, and you go, oh, I can't because I don't have this, I don't have this car, I don't have this, whatever. And are those obstacles actually valid? Is a good start point. And the ones that are, right, well, what do they look like once they're not obstacles? If I had overcome this, if I was living in the future where everything was fixed, what would it look like? Oh, well, I'd have this and this and that. Okay, great. What order would those make sense to be in? Oh, well, you'd order them in whatever way makes sense. And then, okay, so now you've got 5 or 6 things. What action do you think would be the best thing to do for each of these? Might be go to a training course, it might be just research videos on YouTube on how to do it. There might be anything like that. It might be, oh, actually we've got somebody in the business, or I've got a friend or someone who knows about this, I'll just get them to help me with this. The moment we take those obstacles and reverse them, we turn them into what they look like when they're overcome. It's one of those, doesn't sound right, but simple but effective, almost tricking your brain, almost hacks for your brain that works. And you come at it from a different light. When you're looking at, oh, well, we can't do this, we can't do that, oh, we're blocked by this, you're all kind of bogged down and it feels very negative. When you look at, well, we just need to be in a position where we have these 5 things. Oh, we can get those 5 things, we can do this, we can do that, we can do this, and it becomes a lot easier to move forward. So using the obstacle or the series of obstacles as the path forward, and then from there choosing actions, is an incredibly quick and powerful way to move meetings forward. Whenever you've been stuck in any of those meetings that go round and round in circles because everybody's arguing why it can't be done, great, grab a whiteboard marker, write it up on the board, why can't it be done? Boom, boom, boom. You've got 5 things up there why it can't be done, given from people, and they go, yep, that's exactly why it can't be done. Okay, what does anyone have what it would look like if that was overcome? Write it beside it. Write it beside it. Now you've got 5 things that need to be done. If that was true, could we move forward? Sure. Okay, now in your third column, just add in, all right, who, Dave, you know about this kind of stuff. What would be the best action to achieve that? Oh, we should probably try this. Great, write it up. Now you've got an action plan, you've got things for people to go away and do. Took you 20 minutes rather than endless further meetings. So just make a list, turn it into what the obstacles look like when they're overcome, and add the actions, and away you go.